I wonder if everybody notices this. Again, I keep reminding everyone that all of the teams the 49ers will play this year, this is true for all of them now, they all pay millions of dollars for their players and coaches too.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I've looked it up.
All
and
right.
so with that being the case, those teams show up with game plans. They're aware of what the 49ers do, and they show up with a game plan. And the Rams showed up with a game plan. We're going to get the ball out of Matt Stafford's hands before anybody can get to him. And we got this Puka guy who's going to really right? We're going to see if we can move the ball down the field. We've got a good quarterback too. Okay? Almost worked, but didn't. Giants showed up and went, we're going to blitz him on every play. Every play. Let's see if this kid can handle it. If we just create chaos, we might leave some people open on the back end, but that's going to be our game plan. And it worked for a minute, but it didn't work longer than that. And that's the problem. I think that teams are going to come in. They're going to show the Niners different things. They're going to throw everything at them. And it's likely not going to work for 4 quarters. The 49ers will adjust. And here's the biggest compliment for the defense is that, do you notice, nobody even tries chunk plays. They don't even try.
Against the Niners defense?
The Niners safeties have been thrown at the least amount of any team in the NFL.
Mark,
exactly.
Especially when you have a porous offensive line against that front. You don't have time to try chunk plays.
So how are you going to get north of 24 points against this team? You're going to have to get a bounce pick 6, or you're going to do stuff like that.
You're going to have to get turnovers.
Yes.
And right now the Niners have turned it over, is it once in 3 games? Is that the number? I believe they lost a fumble.
Lost a fumble in Pittsburgh?
And they haven't thrown a pick. We know that. And I
think
believe
you're right.
it's so 1 giveaway through 3 games. And, if that's how you're going to do it, then it's going to be tough to beat you. Because to fully shut this offense down is difficult. Because like you said, the Giants had an approach, and it worked for more than a minute because you held them to a field goal, and then the second possession was not a 3 and out, but they got 1 first down and you punted. So it worked, but then the Niners adjusted, and you didn't have another punch to throw. And if you're the Niners and you're trying to stop the opposing offense, right now all you have to do is say, hey, you 11, go out there and play football and have fun. You don't have to really junk it up. Now, you did a little bit because the Rams had a nice plan to quick pass you, and finally in the second half, they started to blitz more, and you brought Fred through the B gap, and he was able to get home for the only sack. But last night, you didn't need to junk it up defensively because your defensive line was way better than their offensive line. Their skill guys, you said it yesterday on the show, none of them scare you.
Nope.
So what are the Rams going to do? You don't have a quarterback who can really beat you by himself. Your O-line is shaky, and your skill guys aren't going to be able to overpower us. Darren Waller was their best chance to do anything, and they didn't get him involved until late in the first half.
Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. What did the Giants do with their wide receivers in the game? I think this is a very under-discussed sort of marker in the NFL, which is getting wide receivers involved. A quarterback who's young or under duress often goes to running backs and tight ends a lot because that's the short stuff. It's right there in front of you, right? So how involved were the wide receivers yesterday for the Giants? Here are the final tallies. I'm going to try to do this math really, really quickly. It's a total of 13 catches.
Okay.
For 45 plus 32 is 70.
77. You're talking about Campbell, Robinson, and Slayton?
That is correct.
Slates.
That's correct. That is the sum total of your wide receiver output. 13 catches for 77 yards on a total of 6 plus 6 plus 5, 17 targets. Okay? So that tells you that the production was next to none. 77 yards for the whole core in 17 targets. So that means when they did get a catch, it was just like, you're right over there, 7 yards, boop, tackle. Yep. If the Niners play that all year, you're going to see stuff like this all year long, where the other team is somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 points at the end of the game. And if they are, the Niners are going to beat you. because they're going to score, like even if things go wrong, they're going to score 20. They're going to score 20 on you. It would likely look a lot like the playoff game against Dallas did last year. It's like Dallas only got 12. Well, the Niners had a tough day offensively, but they got 19,
right,
and they beat you.
And I think that teams that you're eventually going to face who have wide receivers who might be able to beat you one-on-one, and I've talked about the Cincinnati game a lot. It's on a short week. The Niners go from a Monday to a Sunday. If Burrow is healthy at the time, which no guarantee of anyone being healthy, but they do have a couple of receivers who can scare you on the outside and make you think a little bit in terms of, rolling your coverage up. They got guys, Chase and Higgins, who can beat you over the top.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. You're not wrong. I just don't even know. Until we see the Bengals sort of look like the Bengals,
right? I
don't know what they've got to offer this year. The quarterback thing is obviously a problem. Jamar Chase, I think, has got, in 2 games, maybe 70 yards receiving. It's next to nothing. You know what I mean? Prayers up to those who grabbed him in the first round.
Right.
There's been a lot of first-round problems in fantasy this year. Kelsey missed a game. Kupp hasn't played yet.
Eckler's been out.
Eckler is, by the way, announced already out for this weekend as well. So he got 1 game, and it was a good one. But then now he's going to miss week 2 and week 3.
Chubb, gone for the year. Chubb, is he a first round? He might have been a second rounder.
Late first, early second. Yeah, wraparound guy.
Wraparound pick.
He's probably a first rounder in our league.
14 teams.
14 teams? I bet he was. Wasn't he? I think he was.
I'll do the math. I'll take a look at it. I probably would have
taken him at pick 14 if he was still there.
Yeah.
I ended up, I took Bijan. Maybe he was. I forget. But we can look that up. Either way, we'll see what the Bengals are all about.